Hi everyone, Merry Christmas. This is a super random video to be honest, but I wanted to film it because this is something I've been doing every year and I just really enjoy it. Basically, for the last couple Christmases, I've made it so that I have a book advent calendar of some kind, and this year I've merged like my two separate ideas together in a way. The first year I did this, I brought a bunch of books and then I used those as my advent calendar, and then last year I think I did a book as an advent calendar and like read a couple chapters every day or something like that. So in this video I am actually doing both. So I have the book advent calendar that you would have seen both of them I think, but I have a book advent calendar which is 12 books and I am opening a book every 2 days. And then I have my book advent calendar that is just one book that I read a certain amount of chapters every day. So it is the 5th today. I do need to read the 5th day's worth of chapters, but so far I am 70 pages into One Day in December and I'm quite enjoying it. I would say it's a very easy read. I'm not skimming through it, but I am also like not really like paying attention, if you know what I mean. Like it doesn't really need to have that level of like paying attention whilst I'm reading it, which is quite nice in a way because I'm in a little bit of a slump, so it's quite nice to just breeze through a book. It's basically just following the point of view of Laurie and Jack. I don't know if that's how you say her name, but they keep like bumping into each other since they had like a little meet cute moment, but in that meet cute moment they didn't like talk to each other even. They just went their separate ways and now they have bumped into each other again, and it kind of just goes over like years. So every chapter is a different date. Where I'm at in it at the moment, not really like seeing it yet, so we'll have to see. I don't You would have seen yesterday that I did read a little bit of my advent calendar book. So I'm up to page 147, but obviously yesterday I read the like eighth day chapters, so like from that little one there to where I'm up to now is what I read yesterday, and I think I only spent like 8 minutes reading, and that was maybe, let's have a look, and that was 17 pages. So this is very fast paced. It's definitely one of those books where I'm not like completely in the book, but I'm just kind of not skimming over it. I feel like that's maybe a bit too far, but I'm not like taking in everything. It's very easy to read. I'm just kind of going with the flow of it. The last couple chapters were really interesting though, because the main character was in Thailand and she's had a little romance going on with that. So it's kind of changed pace a little bit now because it's kind of been the same all the way up until this point. And then there's two other books I'm planning to read. So I'm going to start A Winter in New York, which is also by Josie Silver. I didn't even realise that until just now. This one I feel like it has pretty mixed reviews, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna love it. But I obviously did go to New York earlier this year, so I am very like, I feel like this is the right time to read it. And then I'm also planning on reading on my Kindle the new like kind of novella that Elsie Silver came out with for, I think it was the Chestnut Springs. I hope it was, because I haven't read the other series. I'm planning to read that as well. Today, I am going to read yesterday and today's chapters for One Day in December, but I'm also going to try and read a bit more of this because I am definitely enjoying it. I actually think the audiobook might be the way to go with this one, so I might try and like listen to it whilst wrapping presents, maybe putting some clothes away, that kind of thing. But I wouldn't say I'm really into it. Obviously, these two are the same author. I feel like this one is a bit more fast paced and a bit more slice of life. I've said this in the video as well, but a bit more that kind of thing. Whereas this one is definitely just more of a story and like we're going through the story. So it's interesting. I'll have to see how I feel about it. I don't feel like I'm too sure what I'm going to feel about the romance that's coming into this one, because at the moment I'm definitely more interested in the secret, like the secret recipe, why the mum had the recipe, what's going on with that kind of thing. I do like that because it adds like a mystery element to the book, but yeah, I'm not too interested in the romance that I obviously know is going to happen. Neither of these books are Christmassy so far, so maybe she doesn't write Christmas books, maybe these aren't Christmas books, they're just wintry kind of books. Although One Day in December, honestly, is all year round, so I wouldn't even say it's necessarily a winter book. Okay guys, so I've now officially finished my advent calendar reading. It is Christmas Eve morning right now, and I finished the last couple chapters of One Day in December. There's definitely not too much more to add to this in terms of my thoughts. I definitely don't think it's a Christmas book. Obviously, I read it over the span of December, so it's a bit different reading experience to most people's. Maybe if you just read it in full, it would feel a bit more Christmassy, but to me, there really wasn't that much Christmas, and the mentions of Christmas were very, like, not impactful on the storyline. The ending was a little bit lackluster. I thought it was cute, but I feel like that trope has been done a few times in terms of, like, why they get back together. It was very quick at the end as well, like, we didn't really see much of that and how it, like, logistically worked, but it was cute. I do think I preferred it to A Winter in New York. So I've decided to rate One Day in December 3.25 and then A Winter in New York 3 stars. So they're very close, but I do just feel like One Day in December is definitely more fleshed out. And I also do still think it's kind of similar vibes to like Normal People, or I saw a few people saying One Day as well, which I've not read, but I have watched some like clips from it, and I can definitely get that vibe as well. It's not as toxic as Normal People for sure, but it's similar in the way that they can't be together, and when they get together it's always wrong kind of thing. And then I thought we could also go through all the books that I ended up getting in my advent calendar as well, because obviously you would have been seeing me opening them, but now I can kind of like talk through and talk about what I actually got. So on the 2nd of December, I got Gallant by V.E. Schwab. And this book I'm pretty sure is like kind of a horror fantasy kind of vibe, like maybe more of a gothic fantasy. I'm not going to like go into detail of these books, but I am excited for this. I've never read a V.E. Schwab book, and I think I have another one on my shelf, but this one has always stood out to me a bit more. So yeah, I might save this for like autumn next year though. Then on the 4th of December, I got The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. This is obviously a romance. This one is, I feel like, one of her more loved books. I really loved the rom-commers that I read by her, and this one I feel like is even more loved than that. So I have high hopes for this one. Then I have A Dawn of Onyx for the 6th of December. This is a fantasy romance series. I actually did get the other books as well when I got this. But yeah, I got Dawn of Onyx. I don't know much about the series. I know a few people I watch have read it and enjoyed it, so I'm just kind of like going in a bit blind with this. Then for day 8, I got Caught This Cruel and Lovely. This one is another one kind of similar to Dawn of Onyx, where it's a fantasy romance series. I think I've seen even less about this, but I do recognise the name, so I know someone I watch frequently has read this. I just haven't figured out who. It might even be like Ellen Catherine. Someone like that I feel like might have read this. It's very thick, so this is one that's kind of a bit rogue. We'll see if I ever get to it, kind of a thing. But I am interested because I definitely haven't heard too much about it, which means it could be really good and it's just like a hidden gem. Then for day 10, this is probably one I'm most excited for, is Promise Me Sunshine. I still haven't read a book by Cara Bastone. I have Ready or Not on my shelf, but this one, Promise Me Sunshine, is like a summary version, I'm pretty sure. It's set in New York, which I love. I love books set in New York. And yeah, I don't know, to be honest, I just want this book for the cover alone, but I do also really want to read it. If I do get to it in 2026, it's going to be like a spring summer book, so hopefully I do. And then for day 12, I got Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. I'm pretty sure this is one of his newer books. Obviously, Riley Sager writes horror and like thriller kind of books. I've only read one other, which was Home Before Dark, and I did really enjoy it. I found it quite scary, which I never really find these books very scary, so that was impressive. I don't feel like I've seen the best reviews of this book though, so we'll have to see. I've not been in my like thriller mood very much in 2025, so maybe it will change in 2026. So then for day 14, we have Society of Lies. This is another thriller. It's a Reese's Book Club pick, and I'm pretty sure that's why I saw it. I don't think I've seen many people read this one or like really seen reviews of it, but I really like the cover. Obviously, it's a Reese's Book Club book, so kind of automatically means that it should be pretty good. And it just seems really interesting because I think it's set in one of the Ivy League colleges in America and it kind of revolves around that, but it's a bit thrillery. So I'm interested in that because obviously there's a few books kind of like that. I think Babel might be like that. Have I got that wrong? Or like Secret History, If We Were Villains. One of those kind of dark academia books is like that, but obviously this is more contemporary thriller. So I'm interested to read this one. Maybe I'll read this first, and then if I like the concept, maybe I'll read one of those ones. Then for day 16, I got Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez. This is like an interconnected standalone, I'm pretty sure, romance book. And I actually have the 2 other books in this like series. I haven't got to them, so this is kind of just like to pad out that series so that I have them on standby, but this won't be one that I get too soon. Then for day 18, I have Scythe. This is, I'm pretty sure, like a fantasy science fiction kind of book. I don't know too much about this, and this is definitely more rogue than some of the rest of these, but I have seen some people read it. I know Sarah Crowley read it kind of recently, and I'm pretty sure she like kind of enjoyed it, but she didn't love it. This is one that I'm obviously interested to read, but I'm definitely going to have to read it on a whim kind of thing, and we'll have to see if I like it. But obviously I'm pretty sure it's like Grim Reaper-esque, which is interesting to me. I like that kind of stuff. So yeah, we'll just have to see if I get to this. Then on day 20, I got The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. This one is, I think, kind of young adult fantasy vibes. I don't know if there's any romance in this, but to be honest, it's another one where I just wanted it for the cover because it's so pretty. But also I'm very interested in this. I have a feeling it like follows a folklore tale, like it's kind of like a retelling of that. It just feels like it's going to be very like magical and whimsical, so I am excited to read this one. Then for day 22, I got Throne of the Fallen. This is a fantasy romance. I think it's in a series. I don't know too much about this, but I do know that pretty much everyone I watch on YouTube has read it, so it's definitely well regarded and maybe well loved. It's very thick though, so again, this is one that I might not get to in 2027 because I definitely have other books higher on my radar. And then finally, day 24, today, I got Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This one is, I'm pretty sure, young adult fantasy. I'm pretty sure people like kind of not compare it, but like it's a similar vibe to Powerless by Lauren Roberts, like that kind of young adult. So I am excited about it. It's obviously a Queen of Hearts like retelling. It's one that I've had on my radar for years and I've never got to it. And I feel like I could have aged out of it. I know that it's always been positively reviewed. So we'll just have to see. Obviously they all fell down, but those were all the books that I got in my advent calendar. I'm obviously very excited to read all of them. There's a few on there that are definitely higher on my TBR, and it's definitely not good to keep adding to my TBR, but I do love this version of an advent calendar. It's just obviously a lot more me. I also do love reading a book for my advent calendar, and if you don't do that, maybe give it a go. I do feel like it forces me to read, which is nice, but then there's obviously days where I forget, but I do like the concept of having a book to just read over the Christmas period. Obviously, I normally have more Christmassy books. I wouldn't recommend these two Josie Silver books as like Christmas books. I definitely would recommend, if you're interested in some Christmas book recommendations, I would recommend All I Want for Christmas by Maggie Knox was a really good one. Obviously, Love Like Farms, that's a very popular one. Any Jenny Colgan Christmas book I would recommend. I've only read two, and they're definitely not my favourite, but they're very Christmassy and very cozy. I think those are ones that I'd probably recommend a bit more than these Josie Silver ones. But yeah, thank you for watching. This video will be going up on Christmas Eve, so Merry Christmas Eve, and I hope you have a lovely Christmas.